Ladies and gentlemen, we have our beloved chief guest and the respected dignitaries here, and I'm going to request them to kindly come on to the dais. First, I request our beloved former Vice President of India, the 13th Vice President of India. He served from 2017 to 22. Yes, please give him a big hand. He's the first Indian Vice President born in independent India, Shri M.Venkaiah Naidu Garu. Himself also a very erudite scholar, to kindly come on to the dais, escorted by our Grace Cancer Foundation family and the Tangirala brothers Venkat and Ravi. I request you to kindly present, as a token of our welcome and appreciation, a plant to our beloved chief guest Shri M.Venkaiah Naidu Garu. Yes. Pavan Gorukanti, the director of the Yashoda Group of Hospitals, young and dynamic as you can see. He's a reputed pulmonologist with special interest in intensive care. Thank you very much for being here and for all your support. I now request Shri B.L. Sujata Rao, Chairman, Grace Cancer Foundation, to kindly come up on the dais. Shri Sujata Rao, IPS, is the retired Inspector General of Police, and he's the chairman of the Grace Cancer Foundation, which, as you saw, is celebrating its 10th anniversary. Thank you, sir, for your excellent leadership. And now, I request Professor Arun Tiwari, co-author, to kindly come up onto the stage. A very renowned author, sir. We loved every word of what you wrote in The Wings of Fire, co-authored the autobiography of our beloved late former President, Shri Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Shri Arun Tiwari is here, Professor Arun Tiwari. He's a missile scientist, a pioneer of civilian spin-offs. A big hand to Dr. Sunkawali Chinnababu, author. He is a renowned robotic surgical oncologist. You'll have to stand there for a bit because they're going to give you a big ovation. Everyone here has been inspired by you in some way or the other, Dr. Chinnababu. And he has extensive surgical experience over 20 years. At present, he's a senior consultant robotic surgical oncologist at Yashoda Hospitals, High-Tech City, 2,000-bedded state-of-the-art facility. He's the Director of Surgical Oncology and Robotic Surgery. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now going to hear about the book. And I'm going to call Professor Arun Tiwari to kindly come and share about the book. He, as we have just learned, is an M.Tech, a former missile scientist, pioneer of civilian spin-offs of defense technology in India. Earnest pupil of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I want to tell you, sir, that when you partnered with Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and wrote Wings of Fire, those words of leadership have spread to every corner of this country. I've personally seen it being read by students, young and old alike. We're eager to hear about the book from you. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is his 25th book. Thank you very much. Yes.
A very good evening to all of you. For an author, release of the book is the happiest moment. It takes a lot of time to write a book. And whatever you write need not be published. Whatever you publish need not be released. And finding an eminent author, Venkaiah Garu sir, to release this book is a great blessing, sir.
And now we're going to call the co-author, Dr. Chinnababu Sunkawali, to come and tell us about living for a legacy. A big applause to Dr. Chinnababu.
Good evening to each and everyone. It is such a momentous occasion in my life. Even as I stand here, I do have goosebumps. Honorable former Vice President of India, Shri Venkaiah Naidu Garu, Dr. Pavan Gorukanti, the Director of Yashoda Hospitals, esteemed guests, partners in good works, friends and colleagues. Today marks a significant moment, not a personal achievement, but as a collective celebration of hope and resilience in our ongoing battle against cancer. This is a big issue, and together we can fight this disease. This book, while billed as my story to some extent, I would probably say that it is truly a story of inspirers, a cloud of inspirers who are seated here. Each one of you in one or the other way had an influence in my life and shaping my life. Countless brave people who have fought the disease of cancer, they have fought with unwavering courage, and I, consider this as a tribute to them for their relentless spirit of overcoming cancer. In our midst, I request you to give a big round of applause to many cancer conquerors who are seated here. I can see Geeta, I can see countless people seated here. Your courage is immense, and that's what keeps me moving every day. A sparkle of hope in your eyes every day makes me to get up the next day, and the story keeps moving on. Even as Professor Arun Tiwari, my co-author, has mentioned about the moving finger in the book, I see that I keep moving because of your spirit. The narrative of this book is inspired by the selfless love of my mother, Srimati Baby Sunkavalli. She is called to be with her creator about 10 years back. Her continuous prayers have laid a foundation for what I am today. I do also celebrate the unflinching support of my father, who is seated in our midst today, for his hard work and commitment to raise his children who would be of some use for the country at large. Our journey began with the insights of Professor Arun Tiwari ji. You have heard him speak. He speaks from the heart. He just told me that I need to realize that I have a profound purpose in my life. Even as we were chatting, he understood that. And his wisdom has helped us to draft this book. The narrative is a beacon of hope and strength for those battling with cancer. I also hope that this book would be an inspiration for a generation or more, young doctors and others, to a life of compassion and care. I have no hesitation in telling to each one of you that this book is more than my story. It has a compilation of the science of cancer, the treatment of cancer, and the prevention of cancer. The truest scientific knowledge is presented in this book.
And now I request Mr. Ashutosh Ramgir, publisher from Sakal Publishing House, to kindly come forward, bringing the books with you so that it will be released by the chief guests and the dignitaries on the days. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the book, Live for a Legacy, the perspectives of a cancer surgeon. As our beloved former Vice President, M.Venkaiah Naidu Garu is releasing the book. Soon you'll see the cover of the book being held by these respected people on the days. I also request the following dignitaries who are here in our midst to kindly come forward onto the stage. I request Dr. Pramila Rani to kindly come. I request Shri Gautam Sawang, if you are here, sir, Chairman AP Public Service Commission. I request Shri Swaranjit Sen, former DGP of the combined Andhra Pradesh. I request Shri Mahinda Reddy, former Director General of Police of Telangana. Shri V.C. Sajjanar, Managing Director, Telangana State Road Transport Corporation. And Shri Ajay Mishra, former Special Chief Secretary and Advisor to Grace Cancer Foundation, to kindly come up here on the dais. Please take this book. In their hands is a book that will inspire you and inspire several thousands of people living for a legacy. We'll now have a passage reading from the book by Mrs. Sunita Krishnan, who is herself, I like the terminology here, a cancer conqueror. Mrs. Sunita Krishnan is an Indian social activist and chief functionary and co-founder of Prajwala, an NGO that rescues, rehabilitates, reintegrates sex traffic victims back into society. She was awarded India's 4th highest civilian award, the Padma Shri, in 2016. And she will now come and read, a cancer conqueror herself. She will now come and read a passage from this book, Live for a Legacy, Perspectives of a Cancer Surgeon. Mrs. Sunita Krishnan.
Namaskar, my humble pranams to dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. Cancer survivor is a very popular term, but I prefer to be identified as cancer conqueror. Semantics aside, anybody who has a lived experience of surviving cancer, it's an irreversible change in your body, mind, and soul. Makes me feel very privileged to read a passage from his book, Live for a Legacy. I chose a passage from A Stitch in Time Will Save 9. Let me read the passage for you. Based on my observations and interactions with my patients, I have prioritized 6 lifestyle risk factors: sleep, physical activity, nutrition, substance abuse, mental well-being, and the environment. All 6 lifestyle factors can help reduce cancer risk in 3 ways: limiting exposure to carcinogens like cigarettes, boosting the immune system, and reducing inflammation. I like to concentrate on 2 things in particular: physical activity and diet, because they are relatable, adjustable, and easy to monitor. It's a well-established fact that there are 4 metabolic risk factors: raised blood sugar, overweight, obesity, hyperglycemia, that is high blood glucose levels, and hyperlipidemia, that is high levels of fat in the blood. Then there are 4 modifiable behavioral risk factors, namely tobacco use, physical inactivity, unhealthy diet, and the harmful use of alcohol.
I'm going to request our chief guest to kindly launch this website, liveforalegacy.com. Ladies and gentlemen, do please visit this website, as it gives you enough and more information. There you go. We are hoping that this website also will follow the progress of this book, and that you'll come to know about this movement more and more from this website, liveforalegacy.com. Let's give a big applause to our chief guest, our beloved former Vice President, the 13th Vice President of India, Shri M.Venkaiah Naidu Garu. Is a hamper and a plaque which we hope will keep with all your wonderful plaudits and awards with you, sir.
Dr. Chinababu Sukavadi, Professor Arun Tiwari Garu, Dr. Pavan Goruganti, Sri Sujata Rao Garu, distinguished guests, sisters and brothers. I am really pleased to be amidst you all today, this evening. And also, I feel honored to launch the book, Live for a Legacy, Perspective of a Cancer Surgeon. I am retired, but not tired. నేను మామూలుగా చెప్తూ ఉంటాను, పదవి విరమణ చేశానే కానీ పెదవి విరమణ చేయలేదు అని చెప్పాను. I was wondering why Chinababu has chosen me to release this book. Because I am not a doctor or an actor, I am a tractor running farmer's son. ఒక సామాన్య రైతు కుటుంబంలో పుట్టిన వాడిని నేను వైద్యం శాస్త్రం చదవలేదు, కానీ ప్రజా జీవితాన్ని చదివాను, అర్థం చేసుకున్నాను. దేశంలో ఉన్న వివిధ రాష్ట్రాలు అవన్నీ. అందువల్ల ఎవరన్నా కార్యక్రమానికి పిలిచినప్పుడు నాకు తోచినా, నేను నచ్చినా ఆలోచనలను జనం ముందు పెట్టే ప్రయత్నం చేస్తూ ఉంటాను. At the outset, before I make my comments, I must recall the contribution of former President of India, Bharata Ratna, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who made his mark by developing indigenous medical technology as a civilian spin-off of defense technologies. In doing so, he also contributed to making certain complex procedures less expensive. Professor Arun Tiwari ji, the co-author of this book, was closely associated with the great Dr. Kalam. As all of us know, cancer, people say, a dreaded disease whose very name evokes fear and anxiety among people. But the latest technology and the experience show that we did not get so much worried. There are procedures available. There are persons with great knowledge, and there are surgeons also who have taken this as a mission. People often used to say, earlier of course, not now, that politicians, medical practitioners and educationists, it's a mission for them. They do it with passion for the sake of the nation. But of late, I can't say about all, at least politicians, people say it has become a mission for a commission. They give remission and do omission, and they lack passion. This is not correct about all. There are still people working in politics also doing good work, but they don't get focus because doing the service is their mission. My dear friends, it was a dream of Dr. Kalam to make health care affordable, underline, and accessible. Affordable and accessible to all. Where the government is doing its job, central government and the state governments, this Himalayan task, untiringly, they are doing their best. But it is important for all stakeholders to contribute to this mission of ensuring that everyone enjoys equitable access to quality health care. That's where the private sector and also public and private partnership and the individuals who have taken this as a mission, they play an important role. The title of the book, Live Life as a Legacy, is an expression of a profound truth. As a child, each individual receives education from teachers, family members, mother, father, grandparents, and the community also you live in. This combined form of education shapes our character, our attitude, and values to help us grow. It is heartening to see Dr. Channababu celebrating the teachers in school and medical colleges and in his medical practices. As a participant in a relay race, he has taken up the baton from those who ran before him and is now passing his legacy on to his juniors through this book and work. This book reminds me of the epic narrative penned by a cancer physician and researcher at Columbia University, Dr. Siddhartha Mukherjee. Quote, the emperor of all maladies, unquote, which sketches the history of cancer as a disease. In earlier times, cancer was seen as a death warrant. But as scientists have investigated the disease, it turned out to be an internal malady. Over time, various techniques and modalities were evolved to remove the cancerous tissues through surgery, radiation, and chemotherapy. Early diagnosis holds the key to effective cancer treatment. Since cancer is chronic in nature, it starts from within and takes a very long time to manifest without symptoms. I don't want to give you a lecture about cancer because there are so many experts here and also among the audience. I would only like to emphasize on one thing, the lifestyle. That is more important than anything else, lifestyle. Unfortunately, because of westernization, changes in our culture, there is a change in our lifestyle also, unfortunately. People used to get up by sunrise. Sun, not our sun, but God's sun. And anybody sleeping beyond that, people used to be lazy fellow. But now it has become a fashion that is affecting our lives. Getting up with the sun and completing your job by the sunset, and then having a relaxed life, spending time with your grandmother, grandfather if you have, and parents, is very important for a healthy lifestyle, according to my own knowledge.
And very soon, in each of your hands, you'll get the brochure. It talks about what Grace Cancer Foundation has done in its 10-year journey, touching more than 12 million lives, having more than 3,000 volunteers across almost 500 villages in 130 countries around the world. That is the 10th anniversary brochure of the Grace Cancer Foundation. Our volunteers have the brochure and they will be giving it to you. Thank you very much, sir, for releasing the brochure. It's a very inspiring read, ladies and gentlemen.